Eulogy, Chapter 3. The thick floral print draperies in the cramped bedroom my parents shared were drawn against the crisp afternoon. A small lamp, crafted from a poorly painted porcelain figurine, shed a dim bubble of light in one corner. The air was stifling, as though they were trying to keep the last of the summer's failing heat from escaping. It smelled of stale camphor and soiled clothing. The carpet was moldy slick under my feet. I stopped short in the doorway. My mother's body reclined on a rented hospital bed, her head and legs elevated slightly. A tube of clear liquid shunted into her arm. A smaller hissing tube curled just below her nostrils. Machinery hummed in the corner. She was dressed in a flimsy tangerine gown from another era, the sort of burnous I'd always despised, but she had favored her whole life. A tidy pair of colorless mules rested on the oval rug at her bedside, in the vain hope her feet might once again slip into them. Her eyes were closed, her face slackly at peace. Mother? A beat passed. Another. Around her, there was an absence of human smell, as if her pores had clamped down to trap her perspiration, her vitality inside her skin. The bed around her body felt cool. The muscles beneath her papery skin tensed. Her thin lips dissolved into a grimace, and with what seemed like an enormous strain, she opened her eyelids. I remembered her eyes as a warm hazel, but now they appeared dull, soupy, nearly consumed by her graying pupils. I lowered my face into what I assumed was her field of vision. "Hello, Mother? It's me, Josh." Her lips retracted, and she gritted her filmy teeth in a sort of rictus smile. Her stomach contracted with the effort. Her weak breaths were odorless. "Joshua, dear, it's been so long." She stopped, the effort clearly immense. Her tongue poked around in the cavern of her mouth. I felt a slight twitching in her hand. I took it in mine. It was rubbery, neutral. I wanted her to stop. "Do what your father says." She parceled her words out carefully. "It will be hard for you," she quivered with the strain, "but it's even harder for him." "What are you talking about?" "And promise me, she gasped, shaking my hand with some hidden reserve of strength. I didn't think she could go on. "Hush, Mother, this is too hard, whatever it is." "I'm so sorry." She seemed to summon some sort of superhuman will, and with one breath said, "Promise me you'll find something good to say about me." She collapsed back into her pillow. The fraction of an inch, the tension in her stomach had lifted her and sighed raspily. "Of course I will," I said, "when the time comes. Now rest." "I'm so tired. Give Nina my love." Her eyes shuddered, and it was like she had fallen a great, great distance. I caressed her hand and felt the bones crackle under my grip. "Mother, what do you want from me?" I said, but all I got in response was the clicking sound coming from the morphine drip in her other hand. "Tell me." "Why don't you read to her?" My father's voice startled me. She lay motionless in the stultifying room she shared with him, rotting from the inside out. "Read? Yes. What?" "She always loves the Bible, the Psalms, the Ecclesiastes, the Sermon on the Mount, or you could try Shakespeare, there on her table beside the bed. She likes to hear the sonnets." I riffled the warm, gilt edges of my mother's leather-bound collected Shakespeare. You know, when she was growing up, these were the only books her folks kept in the house. She was very bright. She learned to read from them. "Do you think she can hear me?" "She'll know the sound of your voice, and maybe the rhythms of the words as well. It will be comfort enough for her." The book flopped open, and my eye lighted on the first line of one of the poems. "I'll give it a shot." "That time of year thou mayst in me behold." "Yes, that one," he said. "It's one of her favorites." I began again, in an almost courtroom voice. That time of year thou mayst in me behold, when yellow leaves, or none or few, do hang upon those boughs which shake against the cold, bare ruined choirs, where late the sweet birds sang. Bare ruined choirs, indeed. Something about that image caught me off guard, made me stop. I looked up from the text. My father, a white handkerchief in his hand, leaned over her body and dabbed at what might have been a drop of moisture in the corner of her eye. I read on.